Now I'm on the scene. Run up on it. You know I'm on it. The drag on me. Dragging my feet. I've been there. I'm by the sea. I like a creature. I'm on the creek. You know I'm on it. The drag on me.
And welcome one, welcome all. It's time for NCAA Women's Lacrosse. It's CCIW time here on a Saturday afternoon in Kenosha. The Blue Jays of Elmhurst come up north off the lakefront of Lake Michigan to take on the Firebirds of Carthage College. Hello everybody, alongside my broadcast colleague, former IHSA, standout lacrosse player in her own right, Jill Ryczek. I'm Peter Ferreri. Jill, tale of two different teams right now. Firebirds 6-4 overall, 4-2 at home. Tough loss against Wisconsin Eau Claire a few days ago. We'll talk about that. Prior to that, a close victory against Wisconsin Lacrosse. As for Elmhurst, their last registered game, it was a 20-5 loss, running clock against St. Benedict. Before that, however, a 8-6 victory against UW Stevens Point. They did have a exhibition against College of DuPage just a few days ago. And, bearing through the weather, it was a victory in that exhibition. So even though it didn't necessarily register on the stat sheets, good to see goals hitting the back of the net if you're a Blue Jay fan. But let's start with the home Firebirds. Again, looking on the optimistic side of things. They had a 5-goal lead to the bitter end of the game. Things just didn't break their way at the very end. But still, so many good things came out of that contest. And, if you look at where things were at in the most recent games, 16 goals against Lacrosse, 14 goals against Eau Claire. They're not necessarily having trouble getting goals in the net. Defensively, though, I'm sure they've made some adjustments and are looking to start off CCIW play in as optimistic of a way as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talking about the Firebirds, that last game against Eau Claire, they played well throughout the entire game. They even had Eau Claire scoreless in one period, so their defense was still playing really well. It's just that last 90 seconds that wasn't really the best clock management. So in this game, I think you can really use that as your goal of what you want to focus on is just getting better at that clock management. And also, Carthage needs to focus on taking shots as soon as they have the ball in their stick, and if they have an open lane, take the shot right away. Really work on passing with your teammates to try and get the assisted goals as well. And yeah, I think Carthage will have a great shot at showing what kind of team they really are, because the last 2 games haven't really shown exactly what they can do.
Well, and again, I am sure, you having been a player yourself, that there is no greater motivation than a close loss, because you can go 2 ways with it. You can say to yourself, okay, oh man, what happened is, who are we? Or you can say, that's not us. The first, 3.5 periods is who we are, and they might come out storming today.
Yeah, I absolutely think they will, because, they were looking at film from Elmhurst and what they have to offer today. And, I mean, looking at a lot of their stats, Carthage is a bit better with a lot of their stats. I mean, total goals overall, Carthage has 125 to Elmhurst only 44. So if you're Carthage, you definitely have to come in with some sort of confidence and really that motivation to just show what kind of team you are, considering last week's loss.
Yeah, I like looking at comparable games. So, for example, Carthage defeated Marion in their opener 9-3. 18-8 was the final. Elmhurst lost to Marion. When you look at the games against Concordia, Wisconsin, 12-2 Elmhurst fell against Concordia, Wisconsin. That was an 18-5 victory for the Firebirds. So when you look at similar opponents, it's very much favored the home Firebirds, not so much that of Elmhurst. Now, let's flip the script. When you look at Elmhurst, yes, their most recent registered game was a 20-5 loss against St. Benedict. But again, a non-conference exhibition game this week against the Chaparrals of College of DuPage. It was an absolute scoring feast for Elmhurst. They had the 10-goal mark running clock to finish the first period. That truly was a sight to behold. It was goal after goal after goal, and they did not slow down. And so again, seeing that and seeing some of their recent scores, 8 against Stevens Point, 5 against St. Benedict, they're starting to put up a little bit more shots on goals, and getting that confidence. So looking at the Blue Jays of Elmhurst, what does even having an exhibition win do for you mentally wise? We'll actually talk more about that on the other side of this. Time for introductions. Starting lineup, National Anthem on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Handing it off to Olivia, the PA announcer here at our Keller Field.
Let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Blue Jays. At attack number 0, Corinna Salmon. At mid number 1, Gracie Eastman. At mid number 2, MC Brown. At attack number 7, Hannah Jacob. At defense number 12, Michaela Armstrong. At defense number 13, Paige Moniz. At midfield number 14, Bella Roque. At midfield number 15, Andrea Mertland. On defense number 19, Savannah Sains. At defense number 20, Contessa Simzak. At attack number 22, Sabrina Scola. And in goal wearing number 3, Jack Vanoni. The head coach of the Blue Jays is Sloan Baumgartner, and she's assisted by San Jun.
Feel it coming in the air. Hear the screams from everywhere. I'm addicted to it.
I'm ready.
It's a dangerous love affair. Can't be scared when it goes down. Gotta run it down. Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight. Feel it coming in the air. Hear the scream.
And now your starting lineup for your Carthage College Firebirds. At attack, number 2, Shannon Heitschmidt. At attack, number 3, August Claridge. At midfield, number 4, Rosie Nolan. Fans, help me welcome a special birthday welcome for number 5 on defense, Hannah Kim. At midfield, number 7, Sophia Winterkorn. At attack, number 8, Kylie Higgins. At defense, number 9, Sydney Kuyeva. At attack, number 15, Emma McDonald. At midfield, number 20, Bailey Castle. On defense, number 22, Hannah Kohler. At midfield, number 27, Stephanie Liebinger. And in goal, sporting number 33, Alessandra Almendarez. The head coach of Carthage is Rebecca Conjal, who is assisted by Rachel Harris and Izzy Ramel. Fans, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you are able and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Broadcasting Network, Jill Ryczek, Peter Ferreri. It's time for CCIW Women's Lacrosse on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Kenosha. Yes, the temperature may only be 45 degrees, but it's a slight breeze. It's not hail. It's not snow. It's not officials in their down parkas. It's
a heat wave at this point.
It is a heat wave. I ran into one of the athletic directors while walking in, and he said, "Pete, the sun's out. It's all we can ask. It's going to be a beautiful day." It is a packed afternoon of Carthage College athletics, so make sure you tune into each and every one that you possibly can. 4 o'clock today, men's lacrosse. 3 o'clock today, men's volleyball. And hey, if you have two screens, if you got a tablet, a laptop, two phones, a television, a smart TV, whatever you got, softball also playing simultaneously right now. So just a afternoon galore for NCAA athletics here at Carthage College. In the circle is going to be Nolan for Carthage. To note, Piper Lefevre not dressed again, so one of the leading scorers for the Firebirds, and her 25 goals not playing today. Don't necessarily have an update, so it could just be a healthy scratch for Game 1 of CCIW action. And we're about to be underway. Almendarez back in goal for the Firebirds. Also looks to be in the circle, and face-off won by the Blue Jays, and that was a strength of theirs, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
This week in the exhibition against College of DuPage, they were playing Make It Take It Lacrosse, and they're already starting out strong here this afternoon. Karina Salmon out of Georgetown, Ontario, Canada, off to the right wing, brought it up, and now at the point we go. The Blue Jays in their visiting Baby Blues with navy blue numbers and letters, white trim. The home Firebirds in their home whites, red numbers and letters, and black trim. Hitting the ground, popping back up, is number 14, Kaylee Wagner. And on the near side now, ground ball opportunity flicked up, and just a nice takeaway on the defensive end. Hannah Kohlert just swiped it away on that near sideline.
There's the birthday girl, Hannah Kim.
Passing off to the left side, point blank, up,
Wow.
over, goal! August Claridge, goal number 43 on the season. And just 61 seconds into the game, Claridge, another goal.
That was absolutely beautiful. I don't think any part of that play could have been executed better. Perfect turnover, takeaway by Carthage's defense. Hannah Kim sprinted straight down the field, didn't even have to cradle her stick. Nobody was even 5 feet near her, and nice pass to August, and she does what she does best and just hits it right in the back of the net.
Let me ask you this question again, being in a midfield attacker in your own right. When you see that space, how do you make sure you stay focused and make sure you deliver a accurate goal? Because I say that because sometimes you can, I can feel sometimes players maybe, we have so much space, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Why is there so much space? And maybe they lose a little bit of focus. How do you keep your focus in that opportunity?
I think you really just have to have the confidence, because you know that not only you're a great team, but you're also a great individual player. So you just have to have that confidence of you know exactly what you're doing, and you know your lacrosse skills well, and you know exactly where you're going to put that ball.
1-0 your score. Firebirds, again, they are averaging just over 13 goals a game. Already have the first one. Now Elmhurst, to keep in mind, offensively had a running clock against the Chaparrals of College of DuPage just a few days ago on Wednesday. So while you and I were here on the 3rd, in the rain, in the wet, in the cold, for the Carthage game, Elmhurst played as well, and they had a very convincing exhibition win. So they can put up the goals. However, the Firebirds' defense stood tall on that first possession, immediately turned it into a goal, won the second face-off, and now sit with that 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and if you're Elmhurst, disregard that first play, because you got it off the draw perfectly. That's what you need to focus on. Don't really stress about you having the ball turned over. Just focus on getting that draw and bringing it to your side as fast as you can, because you need to get a lead, and get a lead fast if you want to beat this Carthage team.
Setting up now for the free position. Center hash, best place to be. Quick pass to the left, hits the ground. Tried to flick it through was Claridge. to no avail, and you always say it could be one of the most effective shots. But again, if you don't get your stick in the right placement, those are the results.
Yeah.
And that's something they've had success earlier in the year. So, smart play. Talk me through, Jill, the timing it takes to have that free position. Well, we'll get to that in a minute as we have a breakaway. Left side, driving. No, Almendarez, why not? Kick, save, and a beauty. One of the best players in all the CCIW. Swiped away from behind. Almost setting up a yard sale. Good job by number 1, Gracie Eastman out of Austin, Texas. And that's going to be a misguided pass away from the far sideline, so the Blue Jays will get possession right back. And again, I'm sure that's going to be the communication point because, at the conclusion of Wednesday's game against Wisconsin-Eau Claire, that was one of the challenges defensively for Carthage was, going against the ride, getting clear opportunities.
Yeah.
So Salmon now passes back up. Quick job over the middle. Trying to go through 4 defenders, converge on Eastman. Just a team slide defensively. And you can tell this defense now for the Firebirds absolutely cognizant and aware of what's at stake. CCIW matchup.
Yeah, and good on Carthage because coming into this game you have to stay on Gracie Eastman. That's their leading scorer with 21 goals on the season. So defensively you just really need to focus on her and contain her.
So Sanis wasn't able to run that one down. Salmon looked for the stretch pass to no avail. On the near side now, trying to run things down. Last time these two teams met, for all intents and purposes, blowout victory. Jill,
Yeah.
just over a year ago.
Yep. Since 2015, Carthage has won 7 out of 7 of their matchups.
And another goal, adding number 2 to the Firebirds scoreboard. 10:47 to go in the first. All smiles for Shannon Heitschmidt, as Heitschmidt now gets goal number 13 on the season. Heitschmidt, a sophomore out of Marist High School. And something to note for Marist, ironically enough, I broadcast a game 24 hours ago with a Marist player. They have, and it's a fun story, they worked with the Park District, and there was, not to necessarily say an abandoned, but an unused park facility indoor where maybe there used to be racquetball or tennis back in the day. It was picked up by Marist High School and has been completely renovated and is going to be a new indoor game and practice facility for the Marist Redhawks at the high school level. I found that out by accidentally driving past it this week and messaged a person associated with the school, and they, gave that little backstory of, there was just this, Almendarez, nice save again. But they said, there was this facility that wasn't being used by the Park District over on the south side, so
There you go.
Got permission and to use it and did the renovations, and I'm going to be intrigued to see what it looks like. I'll have to stop by, but nonetheless, 10 minutes, 2, now 3 goals, Firebirds absolutely in fuego to start things off.
Yeah.
As Carthage just absolutely feeling it early on, and you and I said, Jill, we would almost expect nothing less as able to get the goal, number 8, Kylie Higgins, and that's going to be Higgins' 21st on the year. But after Wednesday's contest, you expected this Firebirds team to come out firing on all cylinders. Timeout taken by the Blue Jays. We'll take it with them when we come back. 10 minutes remain in the first on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back, Firebird Broadcasting Network. Jill Ryczek, Peter Ferreri, 3-0 the start for the Firebirds. As Venoni.
Here's the replay for that last goal, and it looked exactly like the first one did. Able to sprint down the field all day long, and then you just pass it real quick for an assisted goal right there to Higgins, and beautiful placement as well as the first one.
Yeah, and speaking defensively, there's not much that Venoni can do right now. They're just being peppered with point-blank shots, and we know the Firebirds. When you force the Firebirds to have to shoot from longer range, it kind of puts them in this intriguing no-man's zone where, okay, do we take the long-range shot, or do we keep trying to pass to find the better shot? Right now, everything's coming up Firebirds offensively.
Yeah, and Elmhurst is doing what they need to do. They're keeping up with the amount of shots that they're taking. Carthage has taken 3 shots, although they have been 3 goals as well. Elmhurst has still taken 2 shots, and they just got to keep that up and try to match Carthage as much as they can.
Swipe at the middle, trying to run it down. Able to come away with it falling, but that was just a fall by Michaela Armstrong. And here comes another opportunity. Dodging, left to right, getting in, scooping, shooting, save. Nice job by Venoni to come away with that one and clear it out to the near side. Venoni, no height listed on the roster, but again, seemingly similar height to Hannah Kim, who stands at 5'2". So it's not often you have a shorter statured player in the goal. But again, she did a stellar job there, weathering the storm, seeing that point blank, and they did a solid job. So now back on the offensive. And again, something to note, number 22 on the near side, Sabrina Scola looks to be a little hitch in her step right now. Not quite sure if maybe something was tweaked early on in the game, but nonetheless, something to keep an eye on the attack side. As you mentioned, Jill, she's kind of setting up on the right side of X right now, and it should be a free position opportunity. So indeed, it's going to be shooting space called. So free position, 8-meter, lining up is going to be Gracie Eastman. Eastman, 21 goals on the season, so the absolute player you want having the free position. 2 steps in, shot down to the right, no good. Oh, outstanding job. That was just good placement. Kaylee Wagner, right place, right time.
Yeah, and smart play right there to just flick it to your goalie and have her clear it instead of you trying to take it away from all the Elmhurst defenders there.
And there's that speed. Higgins running down the right side, dodging back in, splits defender, shot and a goal.
Wow.
Higgins wanted it the entire way, and she delivered on time. 4-0. Firebirds lead. She just hit that next level, and she wanted that the whole way.
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, she was just weaving in and out of all the defenders there, and even though she was quite far away from the goal, she still took the shot and ended up making it, and that's what you need to do if you're Higgins. Just take the shot anyway.
If you're an attacker as you are, Jill, and at what point do you say, I'm not looking for the pass, I'm taking it myself? Because that has to be such a split-second decision.
Yeah, and I think it mainly depends on what the defense around you is looking like, or even what the defense is looking around your teammates. If they're already covered, you just have to be the one to take it and not try to risk causing a turnover there if you try to pass it to one of your teammates.
Do you fake out the defender? Like, we talked about the goalkeeper, Venoni. Are you faking them out by maybe continuing to look for a pass, knowing you're going to take the shot?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely hit a couple no-lookers there or maybe a few pump fakes, and because the goalie might know that it's coming, and that's their job, is to stop it, so they're ready for it usually. So you got to add a couple of fakes there.
Running up now, taking the face-off, the draw control victory, Kayeva. Again, assistant coaches with Coach Conjul is Rachel Harris, Izzy Rommel, 2 former CCIW all-conference players in their own right. They were outstanding in the circle, so that's got to be, talk to me through that really quickly. 4-0 your score here again for Jill Ryczek. I'm Peter Ferreri. Having 2 former teammates now, and not only former teammates, outstanding former teammates now as your assistant coaches. So if you are a Hannah Kim, a Heit Schmidt, anybody that's not a freshman, these were your teammates last year. Lefevre, for example, McDonald. I mean, Almendara's played all her entire career with those 2 people, and now they're your assistant coaches.
Yeah, I mean, you already have that connection with them, so it just makes it that much more comfortable and that much more fun to come to practice every day. And you also look up to them because they were such great players, and you saw that firsthand when you were playing with them, and you already had that level of trust with them. So that's just a great opportunity there when you're former teammates and friends, I'm assuming, now turn into coaches for you, and you already have that relationship built. That's great.
Yeah, I think people forget about that one aspect you just mentioned, the friendships as well that's developed, not only sport-wise but teammate-wise. That possession looks like we're going to have a green card issued. Our first card of the afternoon, slashing, is going to be called as the FAR official at the 40-yard line. I did say hello to them earlier in the game and, shared our well wishes. Again, when it's not the weather we've had of late, it's a win.
That's for sure.
Especially for you and I up here in the isolated, doubly heated booth.
Yeah.
Where I have now taken my jacket off because I'm just a skosh too warm. That's the complaints we have up in the booth. But again, amazing facilities here at Keller Field and at Carthage College. So waiting for the official call. So it is going to be the 60 seconds issued on Sanis, number 19. And it looks like we are going to have a double penalty. So now Simzak is also going to the sideline for a green card of her own, waiting for what the official call is. But wow, that is a two-player up opportunity now for the Firebirds. So the defense now, just that box and one, as you like to call it, or have taught me, Jill. Pass inside. Rosie Nolan couldn't find the goal. Firebirds maintain possession. Two players up for 25 seconds. Looking for the outlet pass. Back to X. 15 seconds. Great defense by the Blue Jays. Misguided pass. Ground ball opportunity. Trying to swipe it up. Kicking at it. Down to 5 seconds. Still a two-player up advantage with 3, with 2, with 1. Nice save. Vanoni, as they just said, that's fine, I don't have 2 additional players. You got me in net. Wow, what a play. And with 8 seconds remaining, for all intents and purposes, the Blue Jays weathering the 2-player disadvantage storm. Talk to me through what they did so well defensively. We'll actually get to that in a moment. As Claridge, the steal, the shot, the goal! August Claridge out of Wheaton Warrenville South. Likely said to herself, I just need a 2-player. We don't need a 2-player up advantage. Let's make it even, and then I'll just score.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, with that 2-player down opportunity for him, it's not that they necessarily needed a goal from that because they're already up. They were up by 4 by then, but, August just does what she does best. She just took it for herself and got a goal off of it. And she really does have perfect placement just about every time she takes a shot.
Just like that, Firebirds now lead 5-0. But Elmhurst, again, they weathered the storm.
Yeah.
They were down 2 players and just weren't allowing anything. And, we said in jest, but, Carthage for so long plays so well that I think when the opportunities are a skosh on the easier side, that it presents a challenge because there's so many options. But nonetheless, 5-0 your score. Claridge 2 goals, Higgins 2 goals, and Heitschmidt now with 1. And with 4:56 remaining, the Firebirds win the draw control, and there's the speedster, the firecracker, the gutsy player, whatever adjective you want to use. But Hannah Kim coming away with the draw control, and Firebirds setting up to go to potentially up 6-0. Again, reminder, 10 goals is the running clock. That is indeed what Elmhurst had against College of DuPage on Wednesday. Carthage trying to flip the script against the visiting Blue Jays. Spinning, falling, shooting and scoring. Heitschmidt now. Her second goal. As a bunch of 2s now on the board. Heitschmidt 2, Higgins 2, Claridge 2. 6-0 Carthage. And again, it's only been 72 hours plus since the last game here at Keller Field where, again, tough loss, Carthage by 1. If you were in the locker room, if you're in the huddle, if you're in the post game, what's that conversation like these past 2 days to say that won't happen again?
Immediately following that loss, I'm sure that wasn't a happy locker room to be in. And I could only imagine all the frustration amongst the teammates and the coaches probably, and because that's just such a tough loss when you play well throughout all 4 periods, and then it's just those last 90 seconds or so that really was your downfall, and you couldn't play as well as you normally do, and that's just so frustrating. So you can tell that coming into this game, starting off hot, that last loss lit a fire under them, and they're proving themselves within this last first period for sure.
Mishandle on the pass. Again, looking at the overall numbers, 3 shots by Elmhurst. So they've had some chances offensively. Almondera is just, the Great Wall of Carthage, as we like to say. Just nothing gets past her. It has to be perfect shots, perfect passing, perfect conditions, because she's already the career leader for Carthage back in between the pipes. And Firebirds looking to make it 7. Now, mind you, again, as stated, Elmhurst had that running clock in the first against College of DuPage. Firebirds may not get to this point. They need 4 more in the first. But again, everything is going so well for them. Back to X goes Claridge. Also to mention, down a player. Quick pass in. No stopping Heitschmidt out of Marist High School. Make that 7-0. Heitschmidt, first hat trick of the afternoon for the home Firebirds. Talk to me through the success right now, Jill, because they are setting up back at X, and there are just streaking Firebirds from all directions.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought is just these last 2 days of practice since their loss against Eau Claire. I could just imagine that it's all plays coming up and new plays too, and getting ready with that amongst themselves, and you can just see that the communication between them is going really well, and it's just flowing, and they just have the energy and the confidence, and it really starts with the draw, because they've come away with it just about every time, and they're not allowing Elmhurst to steal it from them on offense, and they're just playing really well.
In the circle we go again. 15 for Elmhurst. Mertland had a lot of success against COD, couldn't find it there. Hannah Kim putting on the Jets and quickly gets it into the offensive side. Rotating behind X goes Heitschmidt, already with a hat trick. First game of CCIW action. Firebirds 4-2 at home, 6-4 overall. Looking to take as much momentum as possible into the remainder of CCIW play. Nice save. At first by Venoni, they couldn't get the second one. They had the deflection, but immediately picked back up, flicked back in an instant. 8-0. Firebirds with 2:30 remaining. It's hard to keep up with the scoring bonanza that we see here today, as Firebirds are trying to leave no stone unturned before heading this Wednesday to Bloomington to take on Illinois Wesleyan. My goodness, what a first.
Absolutely, yeah, and you can really just see that Carthage is just wanting to prove themselves like no other, and they just really want to show what they can do, and I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep taking their shots and they don't even bother holding the clock and not taking shots. They're just going to keep firing and keep the lead and keep going.
So once again in the circle is Andrea Mertland. Flicked in the air, trying to get it away. Faced off against number 27, Leibinger. Draw control is going to go the way of the Blue Jays, as their own team leader in goals, Gracie Eastman, brought it up. And again, something to be said as well. Kendall Sheppy, a scratch for today's game, and playing down one of your best offensive players, it is easier said than done to overcome that deficit. Taken away, dodging to the near side. Soft pass ahead as Heitschmidt picks it up. 8-goal lead, a minute 45 until period number 2. Dodging in, upper right corner, the high cheese, as Claridge wants to join the party, as she has now got her hat trick unassisted. And again, if you're the defenders, if you are the goalkeeper, you know something is coming, but the timeliness is truly keeping the Blue Jays on their toes, or in this case on their heels, because if you're the goalkeeper, Vanoli, you're saying to yourself, all right, well, they've been passing back to X from this side. Oh, she's just going to dodge back in front of me and then go the opposite, way. It's almost indefensible.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it, because Carthage is just coming from so many different directions and so many different ways that they're able to take these shots and score off of them. I mean, coming from behind from X, both sides, assisted, unassisted, you don't really know as a defender how it's coming or when it's coming, so you just have to be prepared for everything.
I'm sure you being an attacker in your own right, that kind of gets the heartbeat beating an extra beat faster, seeing those type of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
We forgot to bring the sticks again today, Joe.
That's okay.
We keep saying that we're going to bring the sticks. Well, we're going to have to talk to John and the crew about that before we're back here again. Again, and to mention, for Elmhurst, they're on the offensive again. They've had their opportunities. They have done quite well in the circle, all things considered, but just haven't been able to pass enough. And at some point, that one taken away and down with an injury right now is a Blue Jay. Let's see who that may be. But with that being said, breaking ahead to make it 10. Far side pass swiped away by Vanoni. And the goalkeeper, Vanoni, now has possession, being challenged, doing the spin cradle, looks for the clear, able to do so on the near side successfully. And again, good job defensively by the Blue Jays, as that was almost another breakaway. And we may have a green card. And it looks like number 8, Kylie Higgins, is going to be issued the green. Waiting for the official to hold up the green. At least I think they will, unless I missed it in a blink of an eye. Well, nonetheless, a green card issuance on Higgins. 18 seconds now. Player up advantage for 60 seconds for the Blue Jays. However, Carthage takes possession. Stretch pass, near side. Claridge dodging in. Triple teamed. Runs off to the right. She has the shot. She takes it. Another goal by Claridge. Give her 4 with 1.8 seconds remaining in the first. She was going to have a free position if she didn't take the shot. Free position not needed. 10-goal lead in the first. The Firebirds absolutely delivering fireballs here at Art Keller Field.
Yeah, I mean, with that green card being issued, you really, if you were Elmhurst, you really should have been able to capitalize on that opportunity there and march it down your field and at least take a few more shots, because so far they've only taken 3, and you really need to take advantage of those opportunities that you get. Player up, player down opportunities, you need to take every one of them and really make the most of it.
1.8. Now here's an interesting situation. With 1.8 remaining in the first, timeout taken by the Blue Jays, I believe. We're waiting to see who is going to call that official timeout. We'll sort all that out. 10-0 your score with 1.8 seconds remaining in the first. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back. 10-0 your score. We're about to start the second with a running clock. Firebirds absolutely feeling it on this Saturday afternoon against the Blue Jays. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Ferreri alongside Jill Ryczek for the first CCIW matchup of the season for both of these teams. 2 things to note. 1, the teams agreed to just let the final 1.8 seconds run out of that first period. And so that's why what we thought was potentially a timeout was just the coaches saying, nope, just let it run out. We don't need another face-off. Secondarily, Piper Lefevre is a lower extremity injury, so getting a rest today. And then we are going to keep our eyes open for potential changes in goal at some point for either of these squads. Almendarez stays in, however, at this point still for the Firebirds, as now with that running clock, if you're Carthage, now not to get too far ahead of ourselves, swipe from behind, good defense, still on the ground, ground ball opportunity, somebody's going to pick it up, 6-7 players, and finally, Rosie Nolan comes away with it, shot, hits the near side pipe, no good. Bailey Castle was looking for goal number 12, couldn't find it, and Venoni immediately picks it up. So the question was going to be, with it being conference play, already knowing you have a player like Piper Lefevre banged up, Hannah Kim, as you stated, each and every game is just, for lack of a better term, demolished.
Yeah.
And somehow gets a cross-check, across the clavicle, and you just say, wow, she is so strong for popping back up. But nonetheless, I say all of that. At some point, do you start saying, clear the bench? You also have a player, not quite sure who it is, on crutches on the sideline, not Piper Lefevre. But do you... Indeed, Hannah Kim now. So a yellow card issuance against number 15, Andrea Mertland. Folks, Jill and I have called a lot of NCAA women's lacrosse, and Hannah Kim, you hear the cliche of, oh, what a trooper.
Yeah.
But my goodness, it's not as if she just gets hit. It is the forcefulness of the contact, shakes it off, breathes it off. Again, you could say a fellow classmate of yours in the sense that you're both students, but you can see her jogging off to the left, kind of shaking out her left arm right now. But immediately hops right back up and is ready to play. Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable, absolutely, because especially when you're up 10-0, if I'm Hannah Kim, I would just jog to the bench because it's not necessarily that this game isn't over by any means, but I'm just saying if you're Hannah Kim, you could be like, okay, we have a little time to just relax and let me go catch my breath on the bench, but no, she just keeps playing through it.
So it's going to be a free position opportunity. So soft reset potentially. No, they're going to keep it at 48 seconds on the shot clock. 2 hashes to the right. Opportunity now for Bailey Castle to find that goal. Kick saved up, and just running to it was Higgins, and that's just good awareness because the defender.
Yep, you can never wait for a ball to come to you. You always have to go to it.
Yeah, again, it was bouncing right to Roque, but Higgins read that out and just made a run. Swatted on the ground, finally able to be picked up. Number 7, Hannah Jacob out of Glenbrook South. Swatted from behind, and Claridge now comes away with it. So even when the Blue Jays get that possession, Carthage still playing the aggressor. And again, for what it's worth, that resets the complete shot clock back to 90. Still 10 seconds on the player up opportunity for the Firebirds after that 2-minute yellow card issued. But the reason I think that bears mentioning is if you're the Firebirds, you want to make that lead a little bit more. Give yourself a cushion, because if the Blue Jays score, that running clock stops immediately.
Yeah.
And having conversations with so many coaches throughout my career, all right, if you're in the situation where there's a running clock against you, what's the mindset? And they said, well, step 1, get the running clock to stop.
Right.
And I haven't necessarily seen personally a team come back from it, but I've seen teams get very close once that running clock is stopped. And so the Blue Jays, again, need 1 to stop that running clock. But first things first, they need to stop the offensive attack of the Firebirds. 3 saves for Venoni. Trying to spin around, nothing there. Quick one pass. The shot in the goal. Claridge, they slid over to defend her. That left Heitschmidt open, the attacking sophomore from Chicago. Goal number 11 of the game Heitschmidt, give her 5. Offense, offense, and more offense right now. And if you notice to your far right, Jill, the Blue Jays are having a huddle around the goalie right now. What's happening in that quick conversation?
I think that's necessary, absolutely, because it's 11-0 right now, and you haven't done anything on offense or defense, really, when the score is this big of a difference. So you have to huddle up and just get your girls aligned and figure out what you can do, because, like you said, the biggest thing right now is stop the running clock. You just need, well, now you need 2 goals, but just get a goal and focus up and really communicate with your teammates there.
Again, just a few days ago, Firebirds had a lead, weren't able to come away with a victory, but absolutely dominating this game so far. But however, the Blue Jays had a similar situation. Mertland, 4 goals, 5 assists. Eastman had 3 goals, 2 assists. Sheppy had a hat trick on the night. And it was just offense, offense, offense. I mean, for what it's worth, Blue Jays, not only did they have 10 goals of their own in the first, that started the running clock, they had a 15-0 lead before College of DuPage scored their first goal, and then the Blue Jays finished off the game in a 20-1 victory. So we know that Elmhurst can score, but the Firebirds just have not given them any breathing room. That's got to be tough mentally for the Blue Jays right now, because again, 3 days ago, you scored 20 goals.
Yeah.
You scored 10 in the first.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it would just be Carthage's defense has just. I really think it's because of that loss that they just had a couple days ago to Eau Claire. Knowing that your defense played well throughout most of the game, and then in just key plays they weren't able to finish it. I think that going back to the drawing board and working plays up on defense is really playing a big part in today's matchup, and they've just been able to correct their mistakes from their previous losses.
Head coach for the Blue Jays, Sloan Baumgartner, in her first season at the helm. And headspace is going to be the call. As Venoni now faces from the floating hash on the far side, the potential right stick of one Claridge. And it looks like it's going to be a substitution, or is that going to be a penalty? No, it's going to be a substitution for the Firebirds, up 11-0. And again, like you said, and again, without, dwelling on what happened to both these teams a few days ago, I think part of it was Elmhurst more so, like you mentioned just a few moments ago, they were going toward the ball to get those ground balls, to get those passes. And I think Carthage studied that and said, okay, well, we're going to try to get in each and every one of those lanes, not allow them that breathing room. Because if you notice earlier in the game, again, the Blue Jays had their opportunities. They had 3 shots in the first 5 minutes, and then it just came to a grinding halt because Carthage said, okay, we're going to put a stop to that. Almendarez had some beautiful saves. It could have easily been a non-running clock at this point. But with that being said, the defense of Elmhurst, I'm not sure they were expecting the Firebirds to just have this onslaught offensively, shot after shot after shot.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, coming into this game, I think the biggest thing for Elmhurst would have to be their defense because of how high scoring this Carthage offense is, and they just haven't found a way yet to be able to stop this offense. I can only imagine that coming out after half, the coach will have something formed to kind of switch this up a little bit and hopefully figure out something to stop this Carthage offense.
Hannah Kim going to have a free position at the 12-meter.
We'll see if she can get a birthday goal here.
Yes, happy birthday. Sure, a nice birthday gift would be goal number 7. Dodges right. Shot tipped away. Not able to find it. I would even say if, again, the amount we've watched Hannah Kim this year, a birthday gift would be not to get injured in a game. Again, or at least foreseeable, and you don't want to wish that on anybody. But again, she is so strong and so durable. I think that's the word. That should often be attached with her. Sliding to a knee, Higgins. Wow. Sidearm pass. The spin. The shot.
Jeez.
Wow.
The fact that she was able to maintain control of that ball from falling to your knees, 2 cradles and got right back up, and made a pass to be able to turn that into a goal. Perfection.
That's just instincts. I mean, I'm assuming you don't practice. All right, we're all going to spend 5 minutes sliding to a knee and then popping back up with a sidearm pass.
Yeah.
Wow. Unbelievable turn of events here. Another goal for the Firebirds. What was 11-0, now 12-0. Beautiful free position. Heitschmidt sits at 5 goals, and a timeout going to be called. Blue Jays trying to figure something out. We'll be back. 12-0 your score on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. For Jill Ryczek, I'm Peter Ferreri. 4:16 remaining until half. And if you needed any sort of conviction of how good this Firebirds team can be, look no further than this game this afternoon. My goodness. Offense, offense, offense. Defense, defense, defense. Rosie Nolan coming away with her 4th goal of the year after the stick work. I mean, that's what you make a highlight video of what we saw. And right now the Firebirds in full control of this game. Looking ahead to halftime, what per se is that conversation going to be with Coach Baumgartner and the team for the Blue Jays?
100% it'll be defense talk because they have not found a way to stop exactly that.
Happy birthday to you. This is your day. Hannah Kim getting the birthday goal. It's number 7 of the season. And Hannah Kim, likely, hard to see from here, but all smiles. And you can hear the fans really clapping and hollering it up. Did you ever score a goal on your birthday?
No, we were already out of season on my birthday.
Oh,
I was over birthday, yeah.
Didn't know what time of year that ended for the high school season, but did you have any friends score a goal on their birthday, or teammates, I should say?
Oh, I'm sure they did, and that just makes it that much more exciting. And who knows, maybe the Carthage team before this game just said, hey, let's go out and get a win for Hannah Kim today because it's her special day. So it makes it that much more fun, and you have something to play for at that point.
So again, I'm sure Coach Baumgartner is going to have as much conversation as possible with the team. First year as the head coach for Elmhurst, she was a grad assistant for North Central College, of where she helped a trio of Cardinals to the CCIW All-Conference Honors. She was the head coach of Team 1 Lacrosse and was a 4-year letter winner at Ohio Wesleyan University 2016 to 2020, so just 4 years removed from being a collegiate player in her own right, now at the helm of the Blue Jays in a very challenging CCIW conference. Got her master's in organizational leadership from North Central back in 2020. Double majored in business administration and sports management, so 2 degrees from Ohio Wesleyan. And again, that master's from North Central, so not only great at the lacrosse level for playing and coaching, but also great in the studies. potentially a green card issue, and we do. So Higgins, that's going to be her second green card issued on the day. So with 64 seconds until half, all but 3 of those seconds, it'll be a player up opportunity for the Blue Jays. 13-0.
You absolutely need to take advantage of this man-up opportunity.
Salmon off to the right, passes back to Eastman, one of the team leaders in goals. And immediately a violation is going to get called against Leibinger. Free position now for Eastman. Perfect time for the first goal for the Blue Jays. The shot knocked off to the right, no good. So Almendarez still in the game. With 2, with 1. And not quite sure why Elmhurst didn't take a shot to end the half, but nonetheless, 13-0 is how that first half is going to end. We will take a break. When we come back, second half action, running clock. Firebirds leading 13-0 over the CCIW rival, Blue Jays of Elmhurst. We'll be right back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. And welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. For Jill Ryczek, I'm Peter Ferreri. 15 on the clock, which with what will be a running clock for the home Firebirds, as they have come out on an absolute tear, hitting the running clock. 10 goals in the first, 3 in the second, and what could have been much, much more. There is indeed a change in goal. Number 30, Kara Janes, came in at the conclusion of period number 2. But again, once again, on the offense, and they're going to have a free position here for the Blue Jays. You spoke about it during our halftime break, Jill. The Blue Jays have won in the draw control category.
Yeah, Peter, that is the only category, looking at the stats, that is the only category that Elmhurst is improving and is above Carthage in that stat there. Shots, Carthage has taken 19, Elmhurst only with 4. Ground balls, Carthage 15, Elmhurst 3. And then with the draw controls, like you said, Elmhurst has 8 and Carthage only has 6.
Now, I'm intrigued to see what the situation is because nonetheless, free position, dodging, another save by Janes. And when your 1-2 punch of goalkeepers are still pitching a shutout, you are 11 away from your 24-0 victory last season. Now, mind you, completely different teams, setup, coaches, everything for all intents and purposes. But, when your backup goalie now is doing such a strong job as well in her own right, let's see who gets the run out. I think it's going to go the way of the Firebirds. I was just confused for a moment on that prior play. I thought there was potentially a violation called on the attempt by Elmhurst and Grace Eastman, which with a new rule would be, that the shot taken would then constitute the continuation of the violation, as you saw kind of Janes holding on to the ball, but potentially the whistle came at a different point, that infraction would not result in that opportunity. Oh, hits the near side post. Ground ball opportunity. And it's going to stay with the Firebirds, but my goodness, hit the in between the turf and the bottom left corner of the pipe, as the Firebirds are aiming at each and every corner. And Venoni has been tested many times here today.
I want to see if their defensive approach... Oh, she tried it again.
Elmhurst able to come away with it, but there's that strong defense from behind and a cross-check to be called. So the Firebirds showing that physicality that they are going to start the ride immediately upon possession change. As we see, trying to get through the clear. Let's see if that one rolls all the way through. It doesn't, but here comes that defense. Strong ride, losing the handle was MC Brown, and the Firebirds come right back with it offensively. Brown had her eyes down the field looking for a stretch pass and just lost the handle.
I want to see if coming into this half, if Elmhurst's defense approach changes, and if so, what that change looks like.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see any personnel changes at this point, but again, potential formation changes. No advantage either way at this point in terms of player up or player down, so clean slate on both sides. It's good defensive possession right now. Driving through, almost a no-look by Claridge. She was staring at her teammates and then all of a sudden fired back shoulder, and Claridge up to 5 of her own.
Yeah, it's not looking too much different than the first half for these Firebirds. They're still firing away and taking their shots and not really allowing Elmhurst to even hold the ball.
Claridge, the freshman, now up to 47 goals of her young NCAA career, and again, really having to step up in the absence of one Piper Lefevre. So, you know, when you think about last year to now, last year the team led by Izzy Rommel, led by Rachel Harris, and you had the newcomer Piper Lefevre as you know, your third amigo or third musketeer, whatever, you know, 3 you want to use. But nonetheless, this year it is a completely revamped offensive attack for the Firebirds, and they have already tied their entire offensive output of their last game on the 3rd and surpassed over half their season scoring, and automatically, or I should say automatically, immediately are back on the offensive, and that's going to be number 9, Kieva. But now turnover after the violation called. Not sure if that's going to be a green card issued. It's going to be a yellow issued.
Yeah, one
for
of the
strike to the head.
Firebird stick. Yeah, just right into the head of the Elmhurst player there.
But also something that, you know, we try to keep the positives flowing. Another draw control was won by Salmon and the Blue Jays. And so that was kind of what happened this past Wednesday against Eau Claire, is that in the 4th period, Wisconsin-Eau Claire and the Blue Golds were just winning draw control after draw control, so I'm sure that that's something that Carthage is going to continue to work on. But I think the defense has done everything they could to pick up the pieces. Oh, beautiful swipe from above. Oh, they're saying that a contact was going to happen. Not sure if it's going to be a green card. So with that now, for 60 seconds, 2-player-up opportunity for the Blue Jays. A huge opportunity to get their first goal.
Yeah, there's been quite a few cards today for both teams, so hopefully if you're Elmhurst, you can use this opportunity to really take a few shots here and hopefully get a goal.
That looks like to be a potential free position. Once again, Eastman at the helm. One click to the right on the hash. Best goal scorer for the visiting Blue Jays. The righty lining up, right foot in front of the left. Are they going to call a violation? And they are. They're going to say Eastman was called with the false start. That is a tough call, as for some reason she thought she heard a whistle to start. Running down,
Wow.
Kim, splitting the uprights.
Geez, she is a fast player.
Woo.
Look at that speed.
And again, like you have stated throughout the game, there are times where you can tell up in the broadcast booth that that player is just going to take it the whole way
Yeah.
and go for broke. And when you're Hannah Kim and you have the speed she does, there's no reason not to.
Absolutely.
reset of the shot clock now. So only 10 seconds remaining because, again, a running clock with the 10-goal-plus lead. That what would have been an opportunity to take advantage. So we do have a stoppage right now, and we have one of the officials resetting up their position, but there is 1 second remaining on the player-up opportunity as an official is resetting up position, and now full strength for both teams. So at what one point was a 2-player up advantage for the Blue Jays, now even strength with 7 minutes remaining in the third. Ground ball off to the right. Once again, an opportunity for Claridge. Driving, shooting, scoring. As Claridge now just adding on at will her 6th goal of the afternoon. Claridge up to 48 on the season.
Jeez, 48.
It's a high number.
Especially as a freshman. Jeez.
And so with that being said, if you did not hear Olivia, our PA announcer here at Carthage, it is a free cheese curd day for all the fans in attendance. Is that something you would take advantage of?
Oh,
The
absolutely.
Free curds? Okay.
And it looks like we got a lot of fans today, so a lot of people walking away with some cheese curds.
You know, and that's something you like to see if not only if you're a fan of the sport or of the Firebirds, is you want that weather to just get that little bit better, to give yourself an opportunity, more fans to come out, be present. It's such a fun atmosphere here. But again, August Claridge out of Wheaton Warrenville South. What a freshman campaign. You know, that's going to be a conversation piece you and I have with the next time we speak with Coach Rebecca Conjo. Like, what was the mindset? What was the ability to go and recruit and get a player like Claridge, who is just absolutely offensive threat? There is a player down right now, Bella Roque, for the visiting Blue Jays, as coaches and trainers both come out to check on her. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Hope everything is okay with Bella Roque. Had to be assisted off the field and is over on one of the training tables. So, absolutely hope she's going to be okay. That's nothing you like to see is that non-contact injury, but nonetheless, the lone extra player that traveled with the Blue Jays, so Sheppy and Palermo not playing for the Blue Jays, and again, both key contributors to Elmhurst. So being down to only one additional player, and she's in the game now, so each and every player is seeing the field and is on the field for the Blue Jays. And so 4:45 running clock remaining in the third. Dodging inside, the back shot, did that cross the goal line? It did.
Wow.
So that one, you saw it ricocheted off the stick of the goalkeeper, Vanoni, but it bounced down, hit the line, and just rolled that slight inch over. And that is going to be number 20, Bailey Castle. Castle, her first of the afternoon as the offensive onslaught continues for the Firebirds. And wow. And we also talked about Claridge. Her career high is 7. She sits at 6. Much different circumstance. That was a come-from-behind overtime victory against Aurora a few weeks ago. Tied at 10 going into extras. And then Claridge comes away with it, and looks like a draw control violation, and immediately on the run is Hannah Kim. Something to mention, a little bit of a nugget for you. Hannah Kim played club high school lacrosse for then coach Rebecca Conjal, so nothing like reuniting at the collegiate level. You know, and that's that continuity you like to see. You know, Kim usually a defender, but right now playing on the offensive as well. And I think part of it is potentially with the Lefevre injury. That kind of rotates things around.
Yeah.
And, you know, right now, Kayeva back on the defensive side. And I am sure at some point now, so actually tripping and falling was Claridge. And she, along with Heitschmidt, are going to rotate back to X, and one's going to be on the floating hash near side, near wing. Clock at 2:38. That's the other thing, too, now with the score being what it is. If you're the Firebirds, no reason to rush anything. So the Blue Jays now rotating their defensive alignment, as Claridge looking to tie her career high potentially. Clock continues to run. Not quite sure if the officials are going to call for a soft reset, but clock has stopped at 2:13. Pass back to X, swinging around. No goal on the run out, and that's going to stay with Heitschmidt. So 30 seconds remaining on this possession. The roll, the shot, and the goal! Fought through the contact of 3 defenders, as once again the Firebirds find a goal. They continue to add on offensively, and it is just a goal party. And you and I got the invite. Number 8, Kylie Higgins, now up to her hat trick.
And a Carthage goal by number 8, Kylie Higgins for a hat trick. That is Carthage's third.
As basic as the question may be, I'm sure the answer much more elaborate, Jill. What is working so well for the Firebirds besides everything?
Yeah, at this point, that's almost a tough question to answer, but it looks like that the Firebirds are just really playing well and playing well as teammates. They have 5 assisted goals out of their 17, and when it's unassisted, it's just one player taking it straight to the net and being a playmaker on their own, and it works well both ways for them, either assisted, unassisted. Everything is working for them, everything is going in their favor, and Elmhurst just hasn't had a shot to do much on offense and hasn't been able to find a way to stop offense on their defense.
Hannah Kim runs it from the draw circle all the way through, hits the left pipe. You know, like you said, at this point, just make that run. Kim now running point for the Firebirds, and a nice save by Venoni. In defensively is Armstrong. And the clock is going to hit 0. 17-0. Your score here in Kenosha. Firebirds 15 minutes away from a CCIW conference victory. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. Welcome back to the Firebird Broadcasting Network. For Jill Ryczek, former IHSA player, I'm Peter Ferreri. 17-0 your score. It's been all Firebirds since the opening whistle. They scored 61 seconds into the contest and have not looked back. Again, hope everything will be okay for Bella Roque on the far sideline. Hannah Kim fighting through the draw control, but nonetheless going to Elmhurst. So that is truly one thing that the Blue Jays were able to take away finally after the ground ball. Firebirds come away with it, is at least they know they have that draw control on lock when they get the rest of the pieces firing. And again, it's not as if they're a winless team or have not scored. They scored 20 goals 3 days ago. It's just one of those times where you could say it's not their afternoon, as Paige Moniz is in the game defensively.
Yeah, but like you said, Peter, I mean, when you're down by 17 points and you haven't been able to find any part of the net, whether it's a penalty shot or any shot really at all, you have to kind of look on the upside and find the silver lining in games like this. And like you said, at least they can say, hey, we have the draw on lock. We just have to work on some other things to be able to find ways to win.
And Jacob was in on that ground ball on the near side, but shooting space going to be called, and Higgins going to go at that perfect point on the free position. Higgins already a hat trick, looking for goal number 4. Starters still in the game for the Firebirds. Pass off near side. Beautiful pass. Beautiful goal. Goal for Carthage. 18-0, as they are truly handling the Blue Jays in this CCIW opener. Number 15, Emma McDonald, her second goal of the season. Not much else to be said right now, Jill.
No, I mean, if you're Elmhurst, I don't know what you can do at this point except just move on and look into your future for the next few games and really take this and watch it back and see what plays went wrong and why you couldn't find the back of the net once. And not to say that they won't. They still have a period to do it, but as of right now, you have to watch this back and figure out what went wrong.
Schmidt now, of course, with her 5th goal. She has also reached her career high. Her prior career high was 4 against North Central. So a lot of career marks so far this season. Might as well ask the question now. At what point do you start putting in some of the bench players? Or do you say, because we know what happened recently with not necessarily finishing the way they'd like, do the Firebirds say, nope, we're going to keep that conditioning where it needs to be and, keep our players in there as long as necessary?
I think you can start subbing in now because 18 goals would be a lot to try and catch up with. So I would
sure.
say that's quite a comfortable lead where you don't need your starters to stay in there and risk getting injured. And yeah, I would definitely start subbing in some of your starters. Now, I would have even done it after half, but maybe just that extra conditioning could help.
Yeah, well, I think that's a question, too, that, we'll ask Coach Conjal between now and the next home broadcast is, talk to us through the mindset. Is Kim is hit high, sliding back up is MC Brown. Back at X goes Salmon. Lisa Diaz at West Layton High School off to the right hash. 2 clicks away from Kim. And they're resetting the shot clock now to the soft 40. Make that full 90. 10:18 on the clock when they restart. There's the restart. Kim. Oh, what a dodge. Hey, it's your birthday. Another one for Hannah Kim, her second goal of the afternoon. Is it a Selena Gomez song as well? Like, was it So What It's Your Birthday? Is that how it goes?
Oh my gosh, who is that?
Help me out here. You are more to the hip new tunes.
Ugh, who would that be? I don't even know.
To the Google we'll go. 19-0. Elmhurst wants a timeout. We'll take it with them. We'll be back on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. After the timeout, 9:38 remaining in the contest. Appreciate you being with us on the Firebird Broadcasting Network. For Joe Ryczek, I'm Peter Ferreri. It looks like possession is going to go the way now, taken away by Eastman. And again, one of the bright spots is the middle of the field. Blue Jays have played well today. But just Carthage in all facets has absolutely dominated. Now, something else to keep in mind, you hope if you're a Firebirds fan, a player, a staff, a coach, family member, you keep this momentum going.
Right.
Because this is what could take you into a deep run into the postseason in that CCIW conference, which is always such a tough conference. Right, and it looks like we're going to have a violation called, a cross-check. Here's an opportunity now for the Blue Jays to score their first goal. The dodge, the grounder, and the goal. Gracie Eastman finally gets the Blue Jays on the board, her 22nd goal of the year. Jays on the board. And as we stated in the pregame, Jill, and leading up to this contest, we kind of expected that early and often, but when you have Sheppy, your second leading goal scorer, not being able to be in the be on the field today, it's tough. And if you aren't as deep per se as the Firebirds are, being down a Piper Lefevre in their own right, it's just hard to replace bodies at this point, and already down 2 players, losing a third on the bench now for injury as well. It's good to see if you're a Blue Jay fan that you avoid the shutout.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just been a tough game for these Blue Jays. I mean, they just haven't been able to figure it out, and they just got a goal now by their leading scorer, Gracie Eastman, and it's just unfortunate that it took almost 4 periods to be able to figure something out.
So just to kind of give the overview of the postseason, top 4 seeds make the tournament for the CCIW on the women's lacrosse side of things. May 1st and 4th, it's going to be 4 seed at the 1 seed, 3 seed at the 2 seed, and the final will be Saturday, May the 4th. First round is a Wednesday, May the 1st, so, selfishly speaking, I hope the Firebirds have the opportunity to get the 1 or the 2 seed, so you and I get another broadcast together.
Oh, yeah.
And if they play like this, there's a good chance.
Absolutely.
Again sitting at 6 goals, career high of 7. Dodging around, looking for the pass, nothing there. Quick flick to the far side. Shooting space again. Working out so well for the Firebirds today. I don't want to necessarily say night and day from their recent performance, but again, that last performance, they had a stellar first 3.5 quarters, just couldn't finish as strongly as they would have liked. Reset of the shot clock now, regular clock stopped at 5:53. Pass inside, takes the 1 hop, and Venoni able to get to it. Trying to pass to the near side, able to do so, out to Jacob. Near sideline now, calling for it is Simzak. So Firebirds taking over possession again. Dodging in. Oh, nice fake. Bailey Castle out of Chesterfield, Mississippi. Had me fooled. She pump fake to the far side, to the stick side, brought it back. Short side wide open. Nothing that Venoni can do, as that is now goal number 20 of the afternoon. Goal number 2 for Castle. She is now up to 13 on the season. 20-1 your score, 4:25 remaining. Almondera is now all smiles with some of her teammates on the side. As again, James has been in relief since midway through the second, with things comfortably favoring that of the Firebirds. But with that being said, starters still in the game for Carthage. Taken away by Kim. She's putting on the speed, dodges once more time to the right. Strong defense presenting itself as she has to pull up. Eastman not able to take it away, but again, great pressure defense by Eastman. Last year, Carthage fell 15-6 in the semifinals to Carroll. Then Carroll lost to University of Chicago 19-3 in the championship game. .230 remaining, 20 on the shot clock. Firebirds content with running out as much of the time as necessary. Pass off to the far side. As Elmhurst tries to clear it away. Under 2 minutes remaining in the contest now. It has been all Firebirds all game. Looking ahead for this Blue Jays squad. Again, first game of CCIW play. 2 more tough ones on the road at Augustana. Wednesday the 10th. And then away again at North Central College before finishing the season with 3 in a row at home. Pass inside. Pure excitement. Oh, they're actually going to say no goal and waving it off. As it looked like Sophia Simpson, the freshman, may have had her first goal of the season. But it was waved off as they said she was in the goalie circle. And a whistle is going to be called with the clock continuing to run. But again, for Elmhurst, they then are back home for the final 3 of the season, the 17th against Illinois Wesleyan, 20th versus Carroll, and then ending the season against last year's CCIW champion, University of Chicago Maroons. And that'll be at Langhorse Field in Elmhurst the 24th of April. 7.4 on the clock with the clock stopped. And looking ahead now for the Firebirds with how they're going to end their season after today. Away at Illinois Wesleyan the 10th, 13th in Rock Island, taking on Augustana. Back home one more time against North Central on Saturday the 20th. Pass in, saved away. Jack Vinoni says no thank you. And what will likely end the contest. And with 3, with 2, with 1, that's going to be it. That's going to be all she wrote. The Firebirds victorious over the visiting Blue Jays 20-1. And looking at some of the final numbers, Almendarez ends with 2 saves. Janes, 1 save, a goal against. Venoni, 6 saves, allowing 20 goals. Offensively, Eastman with the lone goal off of her 5 shots for the Blue Jays, but offensively, reads as such. Heitschmidt with 5, Claridge with 6, Nolan 1, Kim 2, happy birthday. Higgins with 3, McDonald 1, and Castle with 2. 10 goals in the first, 3 in the second, 4 in the third, 3 in the fourth. 35-6 your shot differential. Ground balls 23-5. And turnovers, 22-11. Elmhurst more than Carthage. Pretty even on the penalty front with 9 minutes of penalties for Elmhurst, 8 for Carthage. And again, the Firebirds looking to bring all that momentum now to the rest of the CCIW play. Out of town for 2, Wesleyan and Augustana, Wednesday and Saturday. Back home the 20th against North Central College. They head out of town for Carroll, Waukesha on the 24th, and then finish things off 1 o'clock against the Maroons against the University of Chicago from Kenosha. As the Firebirds, with weather being on their side, going to ring the bell. Again, next home game, as stated, is going to be Saturday the 20th against North Central College. Again, if you're a fan of Carthage College and CCIW athletics, don't go anywhere. Maybe go take a break, come right back. Softball team playing currently. Men's volleyball in about 18 minutes at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, as they will be in action. 4 o'clock, the men's volleyball team, men's lacrosse team will be playing as well. And it's a fun afternoon. Again, as we see there, also Wednesday, the CCIW tournament semifinals, men's volleyball at 7 o'clock. And then next Saturday, 1 o'clock, softball versus Augustana, a double header. And again, looking at some of those final numbers, besides the shots, ground balls, saves, and turnovers, truly something that favored the Blue Jays was that draw control, so something that they can take with them for future play. We want to thank you all for being with us this afternoon. For executive producer Mike Love, producer John Voinovich, for Natasha Owen, Dan, and Mark, outstanding job as always, some of the best in the CCIW. This program has been a presentation of Carthage College, copyright 2024. Once again, your final off the lakefront of Lake Michigan. The Firebirds 20, Blue Jays 1. On behalf of my broadcast colleague Jill Ryczek, I'm Peter Ferreri. Have a good rest of your afternoon, everybody.